All right. So, when was the last time you had a vaccine?
I honestly can't remember. It's been such a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you know if you were vaccinated as a child?
As a child, yeah, I had
Okay.
my like immunization chart with like all the necessary ones at the time, like when I was in elementary school, I think, and maybe even into secondary school, like early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how come you haven't gotten a vaccine since then?
Um, well, I entering university, like I had all the major ones, and there wasn't really the flu vaccine that was being offered by the government yet. So I just didn't take them just because I guess it wasn't my parents always bringing me along to get it, and I wasn't going to like the doctor regularly anymore. So that's probably one of the major reasons. And then as I got into university, like my background's in microbiology, so we studied a lot about like viruses and vaccines were the course that I took. And so a lot of it was critical analysis of like vaccine use and from what I learned about it, there's like a lot of extras that they put into vaccines, and a lot of those things can cause harm for like younger children, but also like some side effects in adults. And it's sometimes just used as a way to like, or it kind of makes people more fearful of things that aren't as risky, like chicken pox and things like that. So that
You
was
mean it can make people more worried about the illness than the actual illness
right,
itself would?
right. So it's
Okay.
kind of blown out of proportion a little bit, I would say.
Okay. And so obviously you have a lot of like firsthand knowledge of it, but do you inform yourself about vaccines from any other sources?
I haven't really like been keeping up with it or like the developments. Like I know like some recent ones like the HPV one and things like that that have been coming out, but like not as in depth as I did it when I was in university, which was like a little while back. So I haven't been keeping up with it.
And so, like, do you think it's fair to say that vaccines themselves are not that risky, but because of the additives in it, is that like what makes you hesitant about it?
Well, sometimes I guess it depends a lot on the type of vaccine, like what the virus is, or how harmful it could be. Like there was that big scare with the flu virus recently, and so that one might have been a little more risky, and so it might have warranted a vaccine for it. But I kind of also know about like some other ways that just by a lot of people having vaccines, everyone gets protected. Like there's like this
Herd
herd
immunity.
immunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because of that, I kind of think it's not needed for like every single person. If a lot of people in your community or in your vicinity is kind of doing it, working in a place like the science center though, it's a little bit of a risk because of the amount of people that we come in contact with. It's just statistically, it's more probable that you will get
Yeah.
something for the vaccine.
Is that enough to make you consider getting like booster shots?
I've been close. Like it's not like I've been strictly opposed to it. There's been times when I've been like, oh, it's so convenient. Like it's being brought to the science center, and then there's this other thing where it's just like all the things I heard before that may not even necessarily be true. Maybe I'm just like inventing things now, but just because it kind of made me do a 180 at the time when I was learning it, it just kind of left its mark on like be wary of vaccines and like the companies that are making them and like the reasons for it and so forth.
So you're saying even if there's a good reason to get one,
Yeah,
what you've heard in the past can still sort of hold
yeah,
you back.
yeah. I may have twisted it in my own mind, and it may not strictly be based on like the science behind it anymore, like it once was, but that's still like an influence. Like it still has an effect on the way that I think. This is
Okay.
actually a good exercise to make me think about it more.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is there anything else you think like you want to say about the issue?
Um, I think it also like where you work is definitely like an important factor, and people should definitely weigh like what they do in their personal life and like how much of a risk it is to them before getting a vaccine. It shouldn't be just like something you blindly do. It should be something that you're informed about because people tend to follow like authority figures, people in lab coats telling them, oh, vaccines have like eradicated certain things like polio in the past, and they will do the same kind of thing, and they kind of just takes all the mental effort away from people, like for having to do it themselves. So I think we should still try to keep up with that kind of stuff.
Mhm.